Hey, everybody. Welcome to another episode of the Mile High Game Guys board gaming podcast. I'm your host, Adrian.
I'm Zach.
And I'm Jeff.
And we're coming to you with another Wednesday episode sponsored by our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games.
Hey, you got it on the first try.
I did.
There you
Before we
go.
talked about something for a while.
Well, you guys didn't cut in with some ridiculous stuff.
Yeah.
Some inane chit-chat.
How about some inane bullshit? So have you seen... Have you looked up what was the last time the Broncos were 0-4?
Today I looked up what they were the last time they were 0-5.
Okay.
Which is never.
Never.
There were I saw like 3 or 4 times that they went 0-4, but they always won that 5th game. I'm
gonna go ahead and give you a big spoiler alert right here. Broncos are about to be 0-5 for the first time in
ever.
the entire history of the organization.
Yeah. No, I said now it's time. You got to just turn and go perfect season, Adrian. Perfect season. Perfect season.
Perfect winless season.
Yes.
You could be like the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
See, the Miami Dolphins at least exist right now, so that the Broncos, even in their worst season as a organization, will not be the worst team in the NFL.
You say that now.
The Miami Dolphins they are worse. And they're worse, but in a sense, it's better because they have just embraced that they are fucked this year. And they are now, you cannot convince me otherwise. The Miami Dolphins are intentionally tanking for that first round draft pick, and the entire organization is just on board with it.
Yeah, you guys should beat them. You should beat them. Beat them and get that first round draft pick.
The Broncos somehow seem to feel like they should be winning these games, which, I mean, they're not wrong. They've lost 2 of their games, like in the closing 30 seconds of the game, both times after very, very controversial roughing the passer calls by the refs, by the way.
Maybe you guys should stop roughing passengers.
Oh no, the one of them, the league actually came back and said, yeah, that wasn't a roughing the passer, that shouldn't have been called.
Sorry, you still lost.
You still lost.
Oh yeah, we still lost. Yeah. And the thing I say to because there's a lot of Broncos fans who are like, oh, the refs keep fucking us. We'd be 2-2 if it wasn't for the refs. And I'd be like, or maybe don't let the Jacksonville Jaguars rush for like 290 yards against us. It's hard to win any game when you rush for 290.
That dude got franchise second for the Jaguars on rushing in this one game.
Yeah. It was real bad.
Some dude in 2000 did better.
Yeah, you want to know what happened in 1999? Frickin' Jags beat the pants off the Broncos in the AFC Championship.
Okay.
I think that was right around that same time frame.
Is the Jags the guys with the quarterback that used time travel to get straight out of the 70s?
Correct.
Okay.
Correct. That guy just beat our pants off.
I believe there was 20 unanswered points in that game.
Yeah, we went up 17-3, and I was like, man, we scored like really well on those drives. The defense was doing pretty good. We got our first sack of the year.
Wow.
We ended up with 5 of them.
You should have known that something was going when you're like, I'm positive.
Well, no,
on this.
because I actually felt pretty good about the Packers game last week because I thought we played well overall, except for 3 fucking turnovers. But I thought we played pretty well, and I was like, okay. And the Packers are good; they're like playoff good. And then the Jaguars just came here to Denver, and crushed my hopes and dreams. So, it's over. This season is done. I mean, there's really no coming back from it. Unfortunately, Broncos ownership is in all kinds of turmoil since Pat Bowlen died. There's like a big battle between his children about who gets to take over the team, and so there's no like overhead leadership. Otherwise, John Elway would be gone by now. There's no way. Like, if Pat Bowlen was still alive, he would fire John Elway. We need to fire John Elway. It's hard for me to say that. It's a sad day. It's very hard for me to say that. I own multiple John Elway autographed things.
You have John Elway many things.
Yeah. But John Elway was a great quarterback. He has not long-term been a great guy in the head office.
I have a hot sports question. What is a margin league?
A margin league?
Yeah.
Like, where was this question asked?
The Dolphins are breaking my margin league this season.
Oh, so I'm not entirely sure, but I believe that a margin league is like one of the you're basically betting the margins. Like, so like if, well, no, I don't know. I'm not going to try and explain it because I don't know for sure, and inevitably I'll be wrong. And then I'll never hear the end of it.
That's really what I was aiming for. So,
so I'm just going to stop.
You dodged the bullet.
Yeah. I don't know. I've never been in a margin league, so I'm not sure specifically what that will be.
I've never been in a league besides Blood Bowl.
I was in I've been in 2 seasons of a fantasy football league. Both seasons my team was almost all Broncos because that's really the only football I know, and I'm a total homer for the Broncos. Well, I was back then especially. It was back when we had Peyton Manning and we were good.
Yeah.
And the first season that I did that, I dominated my league all the way up until the playoffs in the league, and because like the fantasy football players are like slid a little bit, so they're right at the end of the regular season. They don't take place during the real playoffs. And the Broncos did so good that season that they then like rested a lot of their starters the last 2 games, which were right during the playoffs for me with a team full of Broncos. And I got beat real bad in the playoffs.
You got to diversify, man.
Yeah, clearly. And I tried to diversify more in the second season. Still ended up with a lot of Broncos and just did real bad. And I was like, you know what? I don't think fantasy football, it's not for me. It's not the kind of nerdy stat things that I'm into. Just don't care enough about literally any part of the league that's not the Denver Broncos.
That's what it seems like. And that's only when the Broncos are actually doing well. I mean, you don't care about when they're not, when they aren't, you don't care about them at all.
I still have watched all 4 games this year. And
how many games did you miss last year?
I missed a few last year, but I had a lot of other things going on. Like now I'm sitting in the tech shop and don't have a lot going on, so I can just like turn it on and watch. But I still feel like crushed as I see them throw. Like I was happy for like the first half of the game, and then I went from happy
to 20 unanswered points.
To 20 unanswered points. And then we scored with like 1:30 left. And it was like, hey, we're up. And I was like, oh no, that was too fast. It's too early. They have 2 timeouts and they have just ran all over our defense. And sure enough, they went all the way down the field, and a field goal would have won it. No. They weren't satisfied with that. Well, they were. They ended up with the field goal at the end, but they got all the way down to like the 4-yard line.
Yeah.
And they got like way down there.
It was like a 22-yard kick.
Yeah, and that was only because there was a penalty on the play before that moved it back 10 yards. Oof. It would have been a much shorter kick had it not been for.
But those high winds.
They did not hurt him on that kick.
I did see that the high winds knocked over like a punt that was like after a touchdown. I don't know if that one's called something different.
The kickoff.
The kickoff.
It's not a punt.
Yeah, the kickoff.
Slight differences.
The wind knocked the ball off the little tee right before he was about to kick it. So then they kicked it again, because it was real fucked up.
Yeah,
and they actually had a dude there holding the kickoff, which I had not seen before.
Oh, yeah, that happens fairly often. Usually, like I feel like they went to a guy holding it really quickly in this case. Like, because usually it's like they'll set it up and it'll be sitting there and then it'll blow over. And then they'll set it up again and then it'll blow over. And they're like, all right, get a fucking guy over here. Bring out a fucking guy.
This time it blew over like
right
a
as
millisecond that he was about to kick.
Which actually made the shitty kick that much more impressive that he didn't like full on Charlie Brown it.
Yeah.
So but that's enough sports talk. You guys don't come here for sports talk. You come here for other inane banter. As the sports talk was ending there, it was really windy in Denver.
Yes, it was.
Very windy.
Yeah.
The last like the entire weekend, I feel like it's been bouts of a lot of windiness.
Because it's been going from like really hot to really cold at night, and it gets windy in between.
Yes, it does.
Yeah. I've been inside working, so I haven't really noticed. I only knew it was windy because the announcers would not shut up about it during that game.
Yeah. Today's the last day of like high 80s, I think, for the foreseeable future. Until like Thanksgiving, and then it'll
Probably,
be like shorts weather or something.
Oh yeah, we'll hit an Indian summer at some point where it'll just get swelteringly hot for no reason for like a week, and I'll hate it.
Yeah.
Real bad.
Melt all the snow.
But hey, Tuesday's supposed to be high of 60.
Nice.
So, and
I can get behind that.
With Mondays a high of 80. So yeah, it's a nice. I always like having an app that shows you the little things so you can see all the peaks and then the falls. Yeah.
Yeah. So what have you guys been up to? What interesting shit do you have going on?
Well, did we talk about Rambo last week?
No.
Okay.
No, because we watched Rambo on Tuesday.
Was it Tuesday?
It was Tuesday.
It felt like it was. It felt like it was like a childhood memory that I just wanted to repress, and then I just recently remembered.
Yeah. So real quick before we talk about Rambo, somebody had said in chat that I should ever visit the tropics because of my hatred of heat.
Yeah.
I can have fun like on vacation in tropics. Like I had a great time in Guatemala. Like, and I went to Morocco and hung out in the Sahara Desert like for a few days. I can handle heat in small doses when it's like on a vacation where it's like I'm willingly going to do this. But when it's like, here in Colorado where I'm a mile high and I'm like elevation and mountains and I don't want the cold. That's when I.
You
That's
want the cold.
Or when I want the cold. I don't want the heat.
Yeah.
That's when I have a problem with heat. But anyway, let's talk about the shit show that was the new Rambo. About how fucking awful that movie was and how glad Jeff is he didn't come watch that
Everyone
with us.
was like, are you getting your Rambo tickets? I was like, no, I'm not getting my fucking Rambo tickets. I'm not going to see that pile of garbage.
Well, for me, it was like, I'll throw $1.60 at it. I've got the Alamo app, so I get a free movie. In retrospect,
I felt
it was
like
not worth $1.60.
I felt like I spent too much on it.
I definitely spent too much on
Yeah,
it.
and yours was free.
Yeah.
I also had to spend 20 minutes each way if I wanted to go see this movie.
Yes.
Which was very much not worth it.
No.
I've heard that it's really bad at being when it's trying to be a movie, but the over-the-top action kills were slightly entertaining.
So basically what the entire plot of the movie is it's Taken that goes very wrong, and then it morphs into an adult Home Alone with a Mexican Jon Snow. And I do mean that because he was from Mexico. No,
Yes. Literal.
Yes.
It was.
But I heard the Home Alone adult parts were entertaining.
It was entertaining. I still wouldn't say it was good. I feel like I've seen over-the-top violent action, like revenge action, done way better.
And honestly, I feel like I would rather just watch Rambo, the fourth one, where he gets that machine gun and just kills people for like 40 minutes, it felt like.
He did reload once.
Yes, he did. That one, those were more entertaining than this one. It was just, like I said, so he just made a bunch of traps that fall and hit people, and then you're just like, oh, God. And then he'd come around and just shoot him in the head or just shoot him multiple times when you knew they were dead.
That was one of the most interesting things to me. I'm pretty sure that every single person that got killed in one of his traps, he showed up immediately after to shoot their corpse.
Yes.
like I don't know. He didn't even need the traps because he was always right there to shoot them.
He made a couple basically magnesium shells that when you shoot, and they just lit like... the
person just burst into flames.
Yes,
correct.
Okay. 2 people because it
was a double barrel shotgun.
Yes.
Oh,
a double barreled shot. Shot.
Okay, so there are incendiary shotgun shells.
Yes, but he made it. But he made them
homemade.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
So I'm sure they were more powerful.
Yeah.
And then, even though these guys
I
shot,
think it was like a 9mm bullet that he just shot someone and they burst into flames.
No.
And it was a sawed off, so like the spread would be even bigger. But these guys who had just been shot close range from a sawed off shotgun filled with magnesium shells and were completely engulfed in flames, he still felt the need to spend more bullets to shoot them all the way dead instead of just letting them burn to death.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
And he passed up a couple opportunities to kill the main bad guy, which ended up having him get super badly shot.
Mexican Jon Snow.
Jon Snow. Just so he could lead that guy up above into the daylight so he could rip his heart out while he was still alive so that he would know what you did to me.
What it felt like. Yeah, it was. He also ripped out a guy's collarbone with his hands.
Just his collarbone?
Yeah.
Just dug in there and just was like, yeah.
Well,
he was questioning it.
Yeah, and he ripped it to break it and then started like turning it. And it was all just like, oh, God, I don't need to see this.
So he stabbed him in the leg and then like stuck a finger in there a little bit. And then reached up and grabbed his collarbone and then like slowly just squeezed in and then popped it out and then like broke that chunk off.
He's got some strong hands.
Well, I mean, it's
impossibly
there's precedence for that when he just ripped out the dude's throat in 4.
Yeah. So. Yeah.
Yeah, he was very strong for being a geriatric.
Yeah.
70-something at this point.
Septuagenarian.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't... Like, I would just say wait till, I'm sure you can find YouTube clips of those parts and then watch those and you're like, all right, that's all I needed to see.
It didn't occur to me, because it's been a while since I watched Rambo 4. It didn't occur to me until, like, towards the end of this one that I was like, both of the last 2 Rambo movies have used the thinnest of bad excuses for John Rambo to just aimlessly kill or indiscriminately kill a whole lot of brown people. And I feel deeply uncomfortable with that fact now.
Yeah.
And what's really annoying is...
I mean, definitely did that in the 80s.
3
with the Vietnamese.
Okay.
And the Afghanian one of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it's really just been...
Rambo doing that
Okay.
for...
Outside of the first one.
Outside of the first. He killed a white dude in the first one.
And only one. And then he got a taste for it and he's just like...
It was first blood. Once it hits your lips.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's really like stood up for it in not good ways.
Well,
And by he, I mean Stallone.
Yeah.
Like, all of the criticisms of how they portrayed people and places and story elements, like, maybe some people didn't want to spend 20 minutes watching a girl be, like, drugged and raped. Like, that might not be everybody's thing.
To basically convince a guy to go attack people. Like, right. It's...
And he's like, you just don't understand the movie. It's like, I think
Mm-hmm.
you don't understand what we wanted from Rambo, dude.
And the problem is that like there's a not small amount of like Twitter and other people that are like, oh man, the libs don't like that. Oh, I'm gonna buy 2 tickets now. And then they're like, it lived up. Wait, thanks for showing how Mexico really is. And I was like, what the fuck?
Yeah, it's not like Death Wish 3,
Yeah.
where it's just like a suburban, well, I guess urban neighborhood that has been run over by creeps, and you have to just shoot them all with machine guns and bazookas.
No.
Like, and it's like a post-apocalypse.
Yeah.
I thought it was very telling that the original guy,
Charles Bronson. That's who I was thinking of.
Yeah, from the
Death
original
Wish. Death Wish.
Yeah.
but the original writer of the first movie or book or something that, he was like, I'm ashamed to have my name even associated with Rambo at this point.
Yeah.
It's like, congratulations, Stallone. You killed Rambo from the guy who wrote Rambo.
But UHF had that awesome part where Weird Al had the muscle suit, the skin tone muscle suit.
He hasn't seen UHF apparently.
I have not, no.
Wow.
I was very confused during the Alamo pre-show when there was an extended cut of UHF.
Okay.
The Alamo pre-show was better than the entire movie.
Yes.
I have no doubt.
Oh, yeah,
I'm surprised they had a pre-show for Rambo. They even
also
bothered to do one.
They also, at the end of Rambo, did a
Montage.
scene-by-scene montage of the entire Rambo series, including the movie we just saw.
And then it also had like a 1 or 2 shots that was after the movie of like, you think you're like, okay, well, at least he's finally dead. And then they're like, no, he just gets on a horse and rides off.
To go die in the mountains.
Yes.
He settles into a rocking chair on his porch, shot to shit, clearly bleeding to death. And that's when the movie fades away and it goes into the montage of like old Rambo. And it's like, cool, that was okay. They're done with Rambo, clearly now. That's them putting Rambo done, dead, gone. And you get to the end of the montage. Well, you get to what you think is going to be the end of the montage, and then you see the montage for the movie you just watched. And then at the end of that, he's on a horse riding away. It's like, great.
So it's the Dexter of Rambo endings.
Yeah.
Well, there wasn't a hurricane.
Oh, God.
It was a hurricane of Mexicans.
Yeah.
Jesus. No. But yeah, so Rambo's really bad. Don't spend money on it.
Yep.
I regret spending $1.64 on that fucking movie.
Yeah.
At no point was I ever going to see that movie with you. Even said, it's like, Jeff, are you coming? Like,
Because we were sitting there and it was like, is it really just us 3? I thought somebody else was coming. And Zach was like, maybe Jeff. And so that's why I was like, Jeff, you coming?
fuck no.
Well, no, I think I said on the movie, I'm glad I saw it because now I know, but now that I know, I'm mad that I saw it.
Right. Yeah.
Can I just walk into the last 20 minutes and just watch that part?
I mean, probably not.
Yeah, probably not.
Well, technically not at Alamo.
Yeah,
At any
'cause-
other theater you could.
Yeah. They won't let you come in after, like once the movie starts.
Someone just wave me in when like that part starts, and then
Like I said, just wait for YouTube or just buy the Blu-ray.
nope.
Don't do that. Don't in any way, shape, or form financially support this movie.
Yes, definitely do not.
Talk to Paul, and I bet you he can pirate the shit out of the last 20 minutes of that movie. And that's fine.
I'm sure I can find
highly
like
encourage.
a shaky cam
Yeah.
of Rambo
100%.
Last Blood.
Yeah.
I'm sure it will be on DVD very soon.
Yeah.
No doubt.
It almost beat Ad Astra in
Yeah.
opening week.
Which would have been a shame. Ad Astra, I did go see. Really, really good.
Yeah.
I've spent a lot
Ad
of time
Astra only
thinking
beat
about
it by like $300,000.
Yeah. And I would have technically been available to go see that with you.
But you couldn't use your tickets again.
Yes, because you not only can you only
Buy one per
buy
day.
one per day, you can only see one per day.
Yeah.
So you can't just be like do multiples. Like
If you
in a
wanted
day.
multiple movies on the
Exactly.
same day, buy them on 2 separate days.
No, you can't do that.
Yeah.
This is
You could pay real money,
Yeah,
I'm sure.
I could have, but it was also the big show, and I was like,
It's like $18 at this
Yeah.
point.
Yeah, that's
Is it still
another-
16
that's another issue.
or is it 18?
I
now?
think it's 18 for the like 3D or whatever.
Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyhow, has anybody played anything game-wise? So I downloaded Cribbage with Grandpa finally to play some Cribbage. because I like cribbage.
Yeah.
I have fun with cribbage, even if I'm not always the best at it. Zach gets more than his fair share of muggins off of me.
Mm-hmm.
I don't think I've ever gotten any off of Zach. He's gotten...
Very, very few people have.
I don't know what that means.
It's when you don't score all of your points and the other player goes, you missed these points. I'm just going to take them for myself.
Aha!
So I started off playing just the normal difficulty with muggins. I played all of them with... I figured it'd be good practice for me to like be conscious of muggins. And the first one I was beating him too easily almost. Like I was like, I can bump it up. And I bumped it up and I was beating that one. He actually won some, but I was still winning a lot. And I moved on from him after I skunked him twice in a row. And I was like, okay, let's go up another difficulty. Or no, at that point I was like, I'm just going to max it the fuck out. And so I maxed it out.
Yeah.
Full muggins. And full difficulty muggins grandpa is a goddamn cheater. You cannot convince me otherwise. The amount of times that he had 12 to 14 points in his hand and his crib and would just rocket down the track from me was too damn high. I did finally, I was texting Zach about it, and I was like, I don't think I've seen him have a 0 hand or crib yet. And shortly after that, I did see him get a 0 crib.
I've seen him,
goddamn glorious.
And I've seen him have 0 hands too. But I mean, honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if it's like a little bit in his favor.
Because there's only so much you can do strategy-wise.
Exactly. Like I said with muggins, you can't be like, oh, let's see if the computer misses them, because the computer has to literally be like, I'm going to ignore these points. So I'm sure it is slightly, because I also had a hand one of the times that I got skunked where it was a quadruple run of 4s, 5s, and 6s, which is worth 24 points, followed by a triple run of 4, 5s, and 6s, which is worth 23 points. So and that didn't even include his crib. That was just 47 points in 2 hands, and I was like, I got maybe 10 from that? Great. I feel that you have to accept sometimes your hands are just going to suck and his hands are going to be great, which, to be fair, that's also cribbage.
Yeah, his just seem to be great slightly more often.
Yeah.
I will say one of my favorite things that I've done with this is I've had some of the best, and I think this is something that the app has helped me get better with, but I've had some of the best peggings that I've had in cribbage in a long time.
Yeah, it definitely helps with that, yeah.
Like I've gotten good about like playing cards, like anticipating like, okay, if I play this, it's going to draw this out and he'll get 2 points, but it'll give me a chance to counter up with like 4 points or something.
Yeah.
And then there's been times when like there was one where we both had really low hands. And so we never got to 31. Well, I did hit 31 at the end, but we both played our entire hands and it was like pair, run a 4, run a 5, pair. Like, it was just every card that got played was a peg.
Yeah.
And those are very satisfying. I like that a lot. That being said, I am done with full-on hard difficulty grandpa.
That's a shame.
I think I will. I think I'll keep playing the app. I think I'll drop back down one difficulty to where that feels like he's using like top strategies and is making no mistakes, but the game's not fudging the cards in his favor.
I mean, like I said, the first grandpa I made that was full difficulty, I abandoned him. I left him too because I think I was at like 75. He was at 75 to like my 50 games or something like that. But now my current one, we are like, earlier I had 54 and he had 52, but then he skunked me twice. So now he's at 56. So I feel like there's a give and take there. You just sort of have to ride the wave.
Yeah. And I guess I never played that many, like I got mad at him when we were tied 3-3 and then he skunked me, beat me. And so I was like, oh, well, now we're 3-8.
Yeah.
No, I'm just done with that.
No, there was a point where I had like 20, let's say 24, and he had 17. And then by the time I got 26, he was at close to 30. So you can just have those moments where you're just like, I am just getting garbage the entire time. So I would say stick with it and it comes around, but you do you.
Right.
I know how frustrated you can get with games. So.
Oh, man. And especially, like...
At the very least, you can get mad at somebody, fucking grandpa.
Oh, and it's real satisfying to go back to your phone and delete that fucking grandpa. Like, you're dead to me now, grandpa. I've cut out a grandpa in real life. I'll cut out a whole lot on a fucking app. But yeah, so I've been playing some cribbage with grandpa. I haven't really been playing anything different video game wise. Like that's the only like electronic game, the Cribbage with Grandpa, that I've been playing.
Yeah.
I'm still playing like some Kingdom Come here and there. I did start Superhot.
Super
Hot.
Yeah.
That is fucking annoying. That was the only thing I really wanted to say about Superhot. The game is really
that's
interesting.
the best fucking part about that game.
I fucking dread.
Super hot.
Super hot.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
No, it infuriates me. It makes me not want to win the individual missions because then it immediately cuts to super hot.
Yeah.
Super hot.
Yes.
Yes.
No, hate it. I hate
I'm
it so
super
much.
hot just hearing this.
Gross. I'm glad I'm sitting like 4 feet away from you.
That is one of the games that I
You're in the
really
splash zone.
Ugh. Thank God I'm to your left. But Jesus Christ. That's one of the games I really want to try in VR.
Yeah.
The
I would
VR Super Hot is apparently very good and has like an endless mode on top of that.
Well, and I just love the ideas because, like, you know, how the game works, time is very, very slow when you're standing still. But, like, when you're on the computer, you can still just be like, I wonder, should I do this? But if you're in the actual thing, you have to be like, I'm not going to move at all.
Yeah.
Because otherwise.
And the way you actually like
Yeah.
move time is you actually kind of do like this weird thing with your hands in like a circle
Running.
motion to
Okay.
actually make like time move because you don't really, it is, I'm not sure if it's room scale where you can actually move in like a space. But usually you're just standing in one spot and moving your hands to make time go.
Yeah.
And then there's that solo Gray Fox Super Hot game.
Yep.
Yeah. Which I now really want to play.
Yeah.
What about board games? Jeff, have you played any board games?
Yeah. I mean, did we want to go chronological or
However you want to approach the situation.
So game night, Denver Beer Company, Arvada, Oldie Town.
Yes. Ye
Correct.
Oldie Town.
Ye
Yeah.
Oldie Town. With the terrible fucking parking, and I am never going up there again.
Just get there early.
Yeah.
Yeah, fuck. Just get right off work
Yeah.
and head up there.
Yeah.
Like I did.
We'll leave work earlier.
Yeah, we leave work early.
Be like, fuck you, truck. I got to deal with traffic.
Fuck you, Great American Beer Festival.
I mean, where's the lie?
Yeah. First we played War of the Worlds, the new wave. We got a review copy in from the Gray Fox Games.
Which I did want to clarify that the reason you guys played that first was because I left Tapestry at home
Yes.
and immediately had to come back to the house.
Yes.
Yeah.
I walked in and Megan was like, "Why are you home already? Is everything okay?"
Well, and you had such
Yeah.
a good parking spot that I saw you wavering for a second.
I almost wasn't going to do
And
it.
I was just like, all right, fine, use my car.
It worked out for both of us.
Yes, because I got a better parking spot.
And then he gave me a ride to my car.
yeah.
Oh, fucking win-win-win.
Yeah. So we got War of the Worlds, asymmetric
Two-player.
deck builder,
Yeah.
2-player. Basically, it's the Britain,
Yes.
not the UK, because it's just Scotland, Wales, England.
Correct.
The aliens from the War of the Worlds have come back. It's set in like World War One. The aliens land in like Scotland, I think, way up north there. And then we basically each have 30 health. The aliens' 30 health is damage, and then the humans. I played the humans. Zach played the aliens. The humans' health is 30 civilian tokens that are put out onto specific spots on the board when you start. I win if I do 30 damage to the aliens. The humans win if they do 30 damage to aliens. The aliens win if they kill all 30 civilian tokens.
Can you move the civilians around?
Yes.
Okay.
But the card...
You have to have the right cards.
you have to have
do
the
it.
right cards.
Okay.
So Zach was playing the aliens, and you started with like a whole bunch of like crazy shit
Yeah.
in your hand. Like your 10 starter cards are like
They're pretty
advanced.
They're pretty nice. Well, and a lot of it is that like you can't hurt any of my stuff. You can do damage to it, but you can't like destroy a building.
I
or
never
anything.
kill or destroy anything. I
so-
just do damage.
So I had like 2 cards. One thing that I noticed throughout this game is that you seem to want to be a lot more aggressive in culling than you do in like culling your lesser cards.
Yeah.
Than you do in other games.
Because you start in your starter hand with like building cards, right?
No.
Okay.
But I had some out that I could buy.
Yeah.
Well, and a lot of mine were like power generators. It's like, here's 1 energy, but get rid of it to use 2. So I got rid of 2 of those for 4 energy to buy a card that gave me just 2 energy. And I was like, well, this seems like a no-brainer. And then the next time I did that to get a power generator that let me get 2 energy every turn. And so as I got my location set up, it was like, well, I don't need most of these cards anymore because I'm getting 5 to 6 energy a turn, so I don't need any of these energy cards anymore. I'm just gonna get rid of them. Where it seemed like it was a lot harder for you to get rid of cards and to build up your infrastructure.
Yes. So I start with 10 cards. 6 are like relocate cards, they're called. You can move 1 civilian cube, 1 space. You can use it as 1 money, or you can cull it for 2 money.
Okay.
And then I have 4 gorilla cards that let me do a damage with a civilian token that hasn't done damage yet, or I can cull it to do 2 damage. Those are the only cards I start with.
Okay.
So I can either move civilians or spend them as money without culling them.
Yep.
And I had gotten 1 building out that gave me like a passive money, and then Zach immediately just moved his UFO 1-2 and destroyed it.
Yeah.
Like
and to be fair, like for the UFO, I have to have the UFO card in order to move it. For the tripods, I have to have the tripod cards to move those.
And you can't use the same card to activate the same unit twice.
Yes.
But you can have different cards that activate tripods or army units or whatever.
Yeah, because like a lot of my tripod cards were was called Reap, which is either I can move a tripod or I can deal 1 damage or I can kill 1 unprotected civilian.
Yep.
But then like the tripod cards are like do 2 damage in an area where you're at. So it's like, okay, well, even if you had a protection, a bunker or something like that, I'd be like, okay, I'm going to play this Reap card to move into that spot, the tripod card to damage it and to get rid of that. Now they're unprotected. And then I can now use that other Reap card to get that civilian.
Yeah.
I mean, it makes sense that the aliens should just wipe the floor with them because they're so much more powerful, but it also felt a little unbalanced.
Yeah. It was just like the human units, it's just an army. It's a World War I era. So the army can do damage, but there's 2 cards in my whole deck that let me move an army unit that aren't the actual army card that lets it attack.
Yep.
So I have to like move it to where Zach is and then do while he just fucking kills it on his next turn.
Or don't do it, and I don't move it. I don't move it until I know I can move it and then attack it on my turn. So, and especially the fact that you can't hurt the UFO at all meant I was like, okay, well, I'm going to send a thing deep to go destroy the things that would hurt my tripods. Yeah. And to get those very far away dudes that you were setting out, because I mean, it makes sense. You want to scatter your civilians everywhere because that's more that I have to deal with more shit then.
Right.
But my money cards are also my movement cards.
Yeah.
And there's replacement cards that are called Evacuate that are like move 2 units or get 2 money, but I just didn't see them until later.
Gotcha.
The economy for the humans is pretty rough to start with if you don't get the right cards. There is always you have 5 card like trench for each player. You can always just cull a card out of there and put it on the bottom of the deck at any time during your turn. So if you're have really high numbered cards, they can go on the bottom. But a lot of them are just one. There's only 1 copy of that card in there. So I saw barrage balloons really early, but there was no way I could afford it. And barrage balloons is the only way to counter the UFO. It's just like the UFO can't go into that space.
Which also is weird because like that sort of makes sense, but it's weird that like the UFO can't go into sea. I can't just go around it because there's at least one part on the map that it's like if you put the barrage balloons there, you can't move my UFO any farther south.
You have to move in a tripod to destroy the barrage balloon, and then that lets you get the UFO through.
Yeah.
I don't know, maybe something about like the way the UFO levitates. It's pushing on the ground. If it went over the ocean, they would just push the water out of the way and it would just slowly sink until it got down to the ground. I don't know. I don't know how UFOs work, Zach.
Not like that.
Yeah.
You don't know?
And the only equivalent the humans have is with battleships. Battleships are in the ocean and can attack any adjacent land space.
Right.
But they start really far south, and you weren't able to get them out early enough to make a difference.
They're expensive. They cost 6.
Yeah, and so I was just like, I'll just send my UFO to go down and kill the things that are nearby it.
Yeah.
So
and then like everything that I put up, like I built my like big fort. It was 4 damage. And then like Zach immediately got a hand of like 8 damage that just immediately wiped that out and everything else that was in the space.
Oof.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't get up like the passive like supply deep. Like it's all about buildings and stuff like that. So I couldn't get any of my buildings out, and they were all expensive and
destructible.
Yeah,
So
and they're usually 1 damage to destroy anything.
Yeah.
And
And it's weird because like my buildings seem as powerful or more powerful than yours. Like I even have one that lets me heal a damage a turn as long as I spend 4 energy. But if I'm making 6 energy a turn, if as long as I don't need to buy something, I can always do that if I need to. So there was definitely a point where you were able to start doing like more damage, but it just wasn't enough to like I was already doing that same amount, and there wasn't any way for you to get past me.
No. It was definitely the like not being able to move and attack or move anything at all. You just need the right cards to come out so you can kind of build the south of England with a lot of those passive like economy buildings and then sort of be able to use that to support which I just didn't get nor the economy to do that.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
The expansion, which is the Irish Sea, it adds Ireland into the game. Adds Ireland, which is sort of just across the sea, and then you get like a new like ferry. The Strait of whatever.
Yeah, I was going to correct, and I was like, I actually don't know. So I'm just going to, again, keep my mouth shut.
Yeah. But
it's so unlike you, Adrian.
You don't have any civilian units that start in Ireland, but they have pre-printed like passive economy and passive defense and attack in Ireland. So if you ferry your civilians over there, then you can start building there. And then the aliens have to have like a carrier card to let them move over there. So
and then he gets ways to attack a UFO. It seems like it's
and there's expansion cards. Yeah.
And then didn't you say it like a little bit more? No, that was something else. Sorry, I was like faction cards, but I was like,
no,
yeah, I was like, this already.
But the aliens can get some wall cards that. Make it so I can't attack their buildings in certain spots because I can do damage to the buildings or the tripods. But getting the economy down is definitely the first strategy.
Yeah, I would be curious if we did it again, just us knowing the cards, how different it would be for
there's not that many cards either.
Yeah.
But there is a lot of one-off cards that are super useful. Like the airplane cards, they're like biplanes. It's just a passive card that lets you just do a damage a turn, just anywhere on the map. And that's like critical.
Yeah.
Just being able to do a damage.
Yeah. So it's like, I think it ended, you did like, I had 10 health left when I destroyed your last dude.
Yeah.
And there wasn't anything you could do like the last little bit there, but if you were able to do, slightly more, like in the early game or in the mid game, it definitely would have been more
close.
Yeah. It would have been closer.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I did see on the board game group on Facebook, somebody had posted that they had played their first game of it, and the humans won that game.
Nice.
So the humans definitely can win.
Yeah.
I have no idea if they were playing right.
Yeah.
Because
I might have also gotten like the
people.
best cards for me at the time too. So
yeah.
Yeah, and like getting the evacuation cards and being able to call out the like crappy ones.
Exactly.
But like culling out the gorillas seems like not a great move at all, unless you can do 2 damage with it to get it out.
Yeah.
Because like usually you were spending more than a turn on a space with civilians, and the gorillas just let you be like, damage, because you just turned civilians into damage.
Yeah.
But the army units were usually wiped out first thing.
Yeah.
Because whenever he does damage, it goes buildings, army units, civilians. And it was usually one card that wiped out the whole thing anyways.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Huh. Well, we'll get some more plays in,
Yeah.
get some more feedback.
Yeah, we haven't played with the actual expansion yet, but
No.
it is in hand.
Yeah.
There's also some Kickstarter exclusive cards that's like Tesla is like a card you can have, like the inventor.
Yeah, I figured
That guy.
I figured you didn't have a car from, the 2019s.
Or a tower.
Yeah.
Right. But Zach and I will be doing a stream of this
Tuesday Okay.
for the people watching now.
Yeah.
And then for people listening to this, you can go over to our Twitch and watch it after the fact and see Zach and I stream it. And then we'll be doing some more plays and then doing a review here in a few weeks.
And it'll be with Jeff's Kickstarter copy.
Yeah,
Yes.
Jeff got
So
his
it-
Kickstarter copy.
So
in.
it's the minis, it's a little bit more of the promo stuff, and then you got a mat.
A
too.
play mat.
I don't know if we're going to use that or not. We'll see.
It's
It's
big.
a huge
Yeah.
map. I don't know how the camera might, like, I'm sure the camera could fit the whole map, but at that
If
point
you
we
use-
might be so zoomed out that it's not worth it.
If you use the spaces are so huge, like it's
Yeah.
generally not.
We'll see.
Yeah, you don't usually need as much spaces that there is in
I'm-
this game.
No, you do not.
That's fair.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we'll have more information about that coming soon.
Yeah.
Anything else, Jeff?
Yes. We played some Tapestry.
Mhm.
3-player.
Yes, we did a 3-player stream of it.
So now, at least Jeff and I have played one of every player count.
Yeah,
Except solo.
Well,
Yeah.
but
I-
I'm not going to play solos.
I still haven't done a 2-player, but Megan and I are hopefully going to do one on Monday.
And hopefully with the Shadow Empire
Yeah, we're
variant.
going to try the Shadow Empire
yes.
just to see how that plays. 3 was good. It felt good being on the slightly tighter map.
Yeah,
And the
yeah.
maxed out map. Like there wasn't, in theory, in a 4-player game or even a 5-player game on the bigger map, people have empty islands
Yeah.
near them that they can go towards if they need to explore.
Yeah.
This one, if you want to explore, you're going to be exploring like towards somebody.
Yes.
So it added a little bit more conflict in that regard. It helped that you were the military conflict race.
And yet somehow I couldn't use the militarism card.
Yeah. with your power.
yes.
but it was good.
Yeah. It was the most interesting of any of the games we'd played so far, but definitely the game that showed the most warts that is the Tapestry card randomness.
Yes.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the game's slowly been confirming for me, that there is a whole lot of randomness in Tapestry cards. There's a whole lot of randomness in tech cards, and when they come out,
And it depends on what you're looking for in the tech cards.
Yeah.
and there's a decent amount of imbalance in the actual Civ cards.
Yeah, and I definitely felt for me that it confirmed that you can't just be sort of a generalist in terms of all the different advancements. You really need to focus on get one, if not two, to the end of an advancement tree. Otherwise,
Right.
you're not getting all those powerful benefits.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went heavy tech because I had the Merrymakers
Yeah.
who have no actual Civ bonus to any of the tracks. So I was just like, I'm going to do tech because tech usually gets you more income buildings, and I want to do income buildings again because that was pretty good last time. And it was the only game I did a lot of Capital City board, which gave me a fuckload of points.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, you ended up in second. I won largely because I got very lucky with a Tapestry card. And it wasn't even so much I got lucky getting the Tapestry card, and then the card was when I played it during my income phase. I rolled the tech or the science die or whatever, and everybody had to advance one space on that track, but only I got the bonus. And it couldn't have happened at a better time to fuck both of you out of a substantial amount of points.
My one movement, which was upgrade a tech and then get another square in the square row,
Yeah.
was going to get me 20 plus points just with that one tech move. I was still able to do that, but I had to do 3 more tech moves to be able to do that.
Right. And then for you, Zach, that forced you to income when you would have been able to delay incoming at least one more round.
Well, and what it was is I was going to put down a market which would have filled out a spot on the on one of the squares on my board that would have gotten me the worker that I needed to then advance somewhere else to help with that, which would hopefully get me to I think it was to let me roll a die to go up on one of the tracks and get one of the buildings, and then I just had to do income, and I was like, God damn it.
Yeah.
So it that was for me probably one of the better ones for me to move up on and get the bonus. It let me during my income step, it moved me up to the one where it was wipe the map and get 2 tech cards, I think. So I got 2 more tech cards, which got me 4 more points right there immediately. Plus having them, I was able to have more to choose from what to advance during the advance portion. Everything about that turn went as well for me as it could have, and as bad for you as it could have.
Yeah.
And helped me, really lock in that victory. I think with the margin, I might have still won without it. I don't know how much I think, Jeff, you would have been the closest. Zach, I don't know if you were quite going to catch.
I'm not sure if I would have been able to actually hit the end of the tech track if I didn't get that bump, though.
Yeah.
But it was still way more efficient to have gotten that free upgrade and been able to do another upgrade on the square top track.
Yeah. But all of that worked out for me based on getting that one card out of however many in the
And
deck.
then the one
and
out
then
of 4.
A 25% chance of rolling that on the die. If
Yeah.
I'd rolled almost anything else, you guys would have shrugged it off and been like, all right, no big deal.
Yeah.
Yeah, any other track, I'd be like,
Minimum
"Eh,
5.
whatever.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, it was good. It was a stream, so you can go watch it over on Twitch.
That wasn't a stream.
Nope.
We did it at game night.
Oh, that's right. That's the one we played at game night.
Yes, but there is a stream with a 4-player version.
There's
Yes.
the 4-player stream.
Our hottest YouTube video yet.
yeah.
Correct. It's too bad that we did that one fucking episode before I realized that I could increase the streaming bit rate from 500 to 4,500.
We'll just have to redo all of the plays of everything.
You know, for the most part, I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
I will pass on Game of Thrones for at least another 6 to 12 months. But I will redo every other stream we've done so far. Happily.
Get Chris Evans back in here and wipe the floor with us.
Brass.
Oh my God, I know, right?
Yeah.
Well, maybe I won't play so foolishly in Brass. I will still play very foolishly in a restream of Twilight Struggle.
Yes, I'm
We'll
sure.
do equally bad on that.
Well, that's because you did that on last Tuesday, right?
Yeah. So, Jeff, did you have any more you were going to talk about?
Oh, right.
No.
Okay, then we'll move over.
Yeah.
So in addition to Tapestry at game night, I did a 2-player stream of Twilight Struggle with one of our local friends, Ben, who's been really he's like Twilight Struggle for a while and has been, trying to get a hold of me like, hey, when can we do some Twilight Struggle? When can we do some Twilight Struggle? And we were supposed to do it last 2 weeks ago and didn't quite work out. Finally, schedules worked where he could come up after work on a Monday evening, and Megan was working herself. So me and him did a 2-player game of it. I was the USSR, he was the USA, and it was my favorite thing about the game was, so I have only played maybe a half dozen times, but they've been separated by many, many months between plays. Like I've never played very regularly, and I've never done the app or anything like that.
My one and only IRL play was against you at Pork Chops. that
During a
one time.
UFC, yeah.
Yeah.
And I should have beaten you much more handily than I did.
Yeah. I went all the way to the late game, and I think you still only won at like 3
Yeah.
US.
Yeah, it was barely. But the thing that really stood out to me about this stream was the number of times people in the chat said something along the lines of, that's not usually what that faction does with that particular card.
Did you coup Iran on the first action?
I did not, no.
That's the first thing you need to do
No.
as Russian.
And thankfully, Ben got to see in chat, somebody was like, is US, don't put anything in Egypt until you see the Nasser card.
Oh.
Until you know where the Nasser card is. And so he was able to take advantage of that and be like, oh, I was totally going to do that.
Yeah.
But there,
Same with like Romania and Japan and
yeah, I tried to spend NATO for the ops, which is apparently something you don't do as Russia, especially early if they can't, like if the prerequisites for NATO haven't been met.
yeah.
Then I tried to space race NATO instead of using it for the ops. And Paul was like, dude, don't do that. Like there's a like a facepalm emoji on Twitch that
Yeah.
Paul was just spamming.
Oh, I'm sure.
Because if the Marshall Plan isn't out, NATO doesn't matter because
Yeah.
they can't do it.
Exactly. Ultimately, we got all the way towards the end of the mid-war. We were getting close to the late war. This was the night I was going to go watch Ad Astra at 10. And so it was getting to like 9:30. And we got to a point we were down to 1 on the DEF CON. And I had Cuban Missile Crisis out. So he couldn't like coup anywhere or do anything. And so I played, I don't remember what the card was, but basically it let him, like, he got a draw from my hand and then choose to either do the event or do the ops.
Mm-hmm.
And he drew it, and whatever it was, it forced DEF CON down on my turn, though.
Yeah.
And so I blew up. And then after the fact, I was talking with some people, and they were like, yeah, and even if it wasn't for, like, his inability to coup, because I was like, yeah, you can't spend the 2 to coup because you can't coup anywhere because of Cuban Missile. And then somebody was like, well, except Cuban Missile says you can get rid of it at any time by getting rid of influence. And he had a ton of influence in like the 2 places he could get rid of it. So he could have just gotten rid of that, removed Cuban Missile, and then used the 2 ops to coup me
Yep.
and kill me that way. And
Yep.
so like I definitely was That was a very bad play.
You nuked
I
yourself.
nuked myself in the face.
That is common with the Olympics card.
I learned that one very early. I think against Paul. I think Paul, like I played Olympics one time and Paul went, yes!
I boycott and
I boycott and win and you lose, sucker.
Yep.
It's like, damn it.
I boycotted the Olympics and caused nuclear war.
Which in that one, I just legitimately misunderstood the rule. I thought it was whoever caused
No, it's
war.
whoever's turn it is when it happens.
And that's when I learned that it's the phasing player who, yeah.
The Asmodee like Steam sale is going on right now. They've got a bunch of really good prices, like $8 for Terraforming Mars, $8 for Scythe, like $3, $2 for Twilight Struggle.
Yeah.
Ooh, I need to grab
It's
that.
$2.99. Yeah.
Is Scythe any good? Digital.
I don't
Does
know.
anybody know?
I don't know.
I've heard it is pretty decent. I've heard it is much more decent than Terraforming Mars has been.
Might have to.
It's probably worth the like $7.
Yeah.
$7-8.
We'll see.
Yeah.
That's been it for me for board games. By the time you're listening to this, we will have done our last recording of Mile High Dungeon Delver Season 1. We're wrapping up Season 1. Our characters are riding off into the sunset.
High teens in levels by now?
No. We leveled up at the end of last episode. Wes was like,
Finally level 3, huh?
I don't think it really matters, guys, but you do level up. So we're now level 9, which sucks for me because I thought we would be playing longer. And so like level 9 is where like the character I kind of like built. We started at 5, so I thought we'd be going for a little while.
Nerds.
And so like my character really like gets super powerful and super good at 9.
Yeah.
So it's like, great. I never got to use like my super cool combos.
I think my longest campaign went from probably level 1 to like mid-teens in 2nd edition.
So we're gonna wrap that up, and then we'll do announcements and things about the future of Mile High Dungeon Delvers.
Yeah.
What one shots we're gonna run, what the next campaign's gonna be, stuff like that.
I think we started with there was some realm that was like the space ships that you could get. Spelljammers.
They've announced that's gonna be the next one. Spelljammer, or I don't remember what the other one was. May was messaging it in Slack, but Spelljammer or something else are going to be one of those two will be the next source book.
Nice. We started getting into Spelljammers towards the end of that campaign.
Planescape.
Oh, like Planescape Torment?
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow.
So it's either going to be Spelljammer or rumor is. It's not officially announced or anything, but I did also get the new Descent into Avernus book. Actually, I have. Got the limited edition cover. Super excited about it. And immediately I got this and I started reading through it. And the campaign that I'm running for Megan and her kayaking friends, I'm like,
what is the Descent into?
It's into hell or something like that, right?
Is it like demon-y stuff?
Yeah, oh yeah. Okay. Whole lot of devils and demons and hellish drag racers and like apparently there's these weird crazy demon cars in hell.
Okay, all right.
Because of course. Demon wagons.
But I started reading through it and I was immediately like, damn it, I really want to run this instead of all the intro ones.
Yeah, fuck everyone's enjoyment. We're going to hell.
I mean, and it's written for 1 to 13, levels 1 to 13.
Yeah.
I'm
sure there's some more advanced stuff in there than normal.
Yeah, no, and
not
really,
killing rats and goblins.
No, you don't kill any rats, I don't think, in the intro stuff. We did in my one shot. I had them go kill rats in a brewery basement. It was great. It was so much fun. But no, I was actually doing some work today on we will do another session in like a week or so from recording. And I was doing some planning and notes for that. And I'm still totally excited to run Fandelver / Icespire for them. And they're excited about it too. So it's good. That's it for me for board games. Zach, how about you? What have you been playing?
The only thing new that I've been playing is Edge of Darkness. Jeff and I got a chance to play it on Saturday. I had some free time and I was like, Jeff, do you want to play anything? He's like, sure. And I'm like, well, if we want to play anything that I have, it's going to take like 40 minutes for me to get home and grab it and come back. And he's like, you could do Edge of Darkness. And
hadn't broken it out yet. I've had it for many months.
Yeah.
So we broke it out.
Yes, we did. We opened the box and then about a little over an hour later, we were ready for our first turn.
Awesome.
Yeah. I mean, I hadn't learned anything about the game at all. A very light setup. I had opened the box basically and read a little bit. It ended up being slightly simpler than the rulebook made it out to be, because the rulebook is extremely wordy,
Yeah.
Okay.
thorough, but not in a good way. Like in an
explaining way.
This rule should be over here because we put the cubes in the tower and then they attack, and then it should immediately say take all the cubes out, and then it does damage. Except it's like, all right, now it does damage, and also don't forget to take the cubes out. Like,
except it actually says don't forget to take out
because it forgot the word cubes.
Yeah, it literally said first with the tray, put them to the side.
Yep.
And I was like, what is this? Oh, it's trying to say to, and then
The
you looked it up
cubes.
and it's like they left the word cubes out.
Yeah.
Good job.
Way to go, guys.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Mystic Veil. It is definitely a like evolution of that kind of card crafting.
Definitely.
All right.
All of the crafting cards are double-sided. The front side has all of the friendly, nice, like you have these abilities. The back side is all of the blight monstery stuff.
Yep.
Okay.
And then that also means that there are no like backs. It's like you said, it's double-sided. Everything is clear sleeves. So it even says when you're shuffling them, do it underneath the table or look away. And I was watching Jeff. I was like, Jeff, I better not fucking look at any of those cards.
I was just sort of like vertically smooshing them because so you can't tell what they are.
Yeah.
The hook of the game is this cube tower.
Okay.
The threat tower.
Okay.
It's a sort of a dice tower-y type thing with 3 different trays that they come out into at random, and then whichever one gets. In our game, it was 6 with 2-player, and it's the amount of cubes you get.
Right.
Whoever has the most color when that happens, that monster that's there will attack that person. And if it's there's some neutral ones in there, and if anyone's tied, it will attack all of them. If the neutral one is tied with everyone else, everyone gets attacked.
Okay.
And then it just does like damage based on the back, which can be like 1 to 4. But if you have extra cards sleeved in there, all 3 of those monsters attack with a combined strength. And then there's buildings that you can put agents on that will let you pull them off to reduce damage. But no matter how much damage you take, it's still just 1 knock on your defense track.
Yeah.
Okay.
So it's not like, well, I'm going to take 12. Do I remove this one guy to take 9? No, I'm just going to take 12 and just go down 1 on the defense track. It's a shared pool drafting deck builder.
Yes. There's only one deck.
You don't have your personal deck.
No. You have allegiances, so you have cards that are yours, but they all go into the same deck.
You have 4 cards.
Okay.
The start of the game is, in a 2-player game, we each get 3, and it kind of does Snake, where it's like, I choose 1, Zach chooses 2,
you choose 2.
I choose 2, then he chooses 1.
Yeah.
So we start with a bunch of advancements.
And then some neutral cards get them as well.
Yep.
And so it wants a deck of 15 cards that we're going through.
And then there's a trench of 6 cards, 5 singles, and then 1 that is the deck.
Okay.
The top of the deck, just like Mystic Veil, where you know.
So, and then you draft out of that using Influence to skip, and then you have hands of 3. And then there's like 10 locations on the board that have various powers. The cards will let you...
So there's like 37 different locations when you get the Kickstarter.
Each location has a set of 8 or 9 cards associated with it. So every time you set up a game, you're putting out these 10 locations, but then you need the 10 sets of cards from this huge deck of slippery ass cards.
I think we came up with a better solution.
Yes.
After we played it, but trying to set everything up, we were just like, Jesus Christ.
Yeah, like setup was crazy because
And
you had to
also-
go through this huge thing and get them all out.
Also, multiple times, we would set up something and be like, so what is the point of this? And then the game is just like, yeah, you can use it if you want. And we're just throw that shit away. Because it was taking up so much space that like there's 2 boards that are used to put those cards on.
The cards just fit on the locations.
Yes.
You don't have to use these stupid extension boards to increase the board size by another 50%. Like, and the board itself, you don't even need. Like, the only thing it has on there is the spots for the discard and the trench and the turn timer.
Yeah.
You could get rid of all of that and just have some other way to track your turns.
Yes.
It's 8 turns.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you could get rid of
We'll
all of this.
Yeah, and more things too, but we'll get to those later.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's minis.
Yeah.
There's 10 minis for every faction.
Uh-huh.
In the Kickstarter version,
In the
there
Kickstarter
are
version,
minis.
yes.
Okay.
And then they are just like cardboard discs
Right.
for the non-version that are double-sided for trained and untrained
Yeah.
Okay.
agents.
Yeah.
You send these agents out onto the board to then activate these locations. This is specific to what cards you have drafted because you need the card from that location to be able to do that location's action, to send agents to it or whatever, because that is
okay.
your contact in that location that you're sending your agent to.
Yes.
Because
because
which made sense after I had gotten a turn or two. In
Yes,
there. It's like
yes,
I need that character to go and do that thing.
Right.
You need the farmer people to go to the farmer space on that card. And then there's ways to like train your pool of untrained agents and be able to
you
use
start
them.
with 5, so that's 5 people you can send out. If you train more, then that gives you more agents that you can have out in various spots. Because there's like if you send 2 people to work at the farm, when you're drafting at the start of your turn, you get to draft an extra card. Or if you put 4 in there, you get to draft 2 extra cards, so it'll let you do more things.
Yep. And so you just sort of go in this, or like what, and then which cards you draft is how many cubes you pull out of this blind bag for the next turn.
Okay.
That you'll have to drop in at the beginning of the action phase to see if the blight attacks. Then there's a space for hunting the blight, which has to do with combat strength that's on those cards. There's a lot of stuff you can do in this game.
Okay.
There's a space where you have like allegiance slips that will turn neutral cards into your faction because you have to pay that other faction money for using their cards.
And each one of the different ones that you use. So each, it
could be up to 3.
Up to 3 money
Yep.
to use an entire card. And if
Yep.
you have 3 things on there, more than likely you're like, this is like 3 really good things. I'd like to do them, but then my opponent gets 3 money.
Yeah. And that money can be turned into endgame victory points or a bunch of other things.
And to be fair, you can choose to just use like one of them and just pay
Right.
them 1 money. It's not like a 3 or nothing.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But if you draft it and then just like discard it as an action, like you can if you get a really shitty draft and have to take garbage cards, you can discard 2 of them to just do an action somewhere out in the trench.
Okay.
But if it's a enemy faction's card, you still have to pay them money for
Yeah.
doing that.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
What's the win condition?
Most
Or what's
points.
the game end?
most points at the
Well,
end.
Eight
what
rounds.
Okay.
The way that the threat tower works is pretty neat because whenever a monster attacks or you defeat, like you're putting other cards on there, but it might be somewhat like Zach's really good, like 3 slotted card that is now really powerful.
Because you're grabbing it from the bottom of the deck. So it can, like there were times when like 2 out of the 3 cards were like my good cards. And I was like, well, God damn it, I wanted to use those.
Yeah.
Um.
I did the metal money for the game, which is nice, but the other pieces are really monotone colored plastic.
Yeah.
Like gold, and then one is like gold and blue. And there's no like shading or anything on them at all, but there is texture there, but they seem really, really cheap.
Also, the money comes in 1, 4, and 10. And it's good because things are worth
It's a weird
a quarter of a
denomination.
point. at
Money's
the end
worth
of
a
the game.
quarter of the point at the end, so every 4 you have is worth 1 point.
Yeah.
The same with like influence and goodwill.
Yeah.
It's 1, 4s, and 20s.
Sure.
Which is why this Kickstarter we'll talk about later, probably,
Yeah.
has a guild upgrade pack that they're only charging shipping for because they didn't put enough of it in the game for like more than 2 players.
Yeah, we didn't
Okay.
notice anything with just us 2, but we could easily tell with even adding another person, you'd be like,
Stretched a little thin.
Yeah, stretched thin. You'd have to go for the cardboard ones, which wouldn't be the worst.
Okay.
So question?
Yes. Another question.
Uh-huh.
So the tower that you're dropping these
Yes.
pieces into.
Yes.
Do they always all come out? Is it just
It always all comes out.
It
Yes.
just randomizes where they come out.
okay?
Yeah.
Because there are some games that have
Yes.
like the cube towers where
Yeah.
you drop things in and sometimes they stay so they
Yeah.
don't fall out till later.
No, those have like little ledges and stuff.
Right.
This is just a bunch of different rods that are using it just to bounce them around.
Plinko it
Yeah.
down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Into the
Okay.
3 different threat pools.
Okay. I didn't know if there was a chance you drop 6 in and only 3 come out this turn.
No.
And you're like, oh shit, next time I drop in 6, 9 might fall
Yeah.
down.
But the threat tower part was cool.
Yeah.
But what Zach had said, which is,
I don't even remember what I said. What did I say?
you said that they came up with this cool tower and then decided to
yes.
build a game around it.
Yeah. Because it's the only thing where it's like, okay, maybe the tower top part could have been like a little smaller.
Yeah.
But otherwise, like, and on the tower, that's where you place the cards to see, and like it needs
Which
to have
threat goes where.
and it has spots for you to actually slot the cards in there, and so like that made sense from a component standpoint. But everything else that we played with.
Yeah.
This for me is the first game where minis have actively made it worse.
Yep.
Because the agents, like we were saying, the cardboard tokens there's one that's untrained on this side, and then one that is trained on the other side. So it's untrained, and you can just flip it over, and then it's trained. These you have
5 male, 5 female.
Yeah, of each one, and you have to take the base off to identify whether or not it's been trained. So you can't just keep them on. And then there are some cards that like let you put untrained agents on the locations, but because they're all minis, they do have different sculpts on them. But if I saw like if there was like a pile of them over there, I'd have to be like, I can't tell. Is that one mine? Is that one yours over there? Versus the untrained cardboard,
Which is just a color with different designs.
Yes.
Which is much more better. One of the things I want to do with this game is cut out all of the overproduced bullshit.
Yeah.
Like first thing.
Okay.
I want to cut out all the boards in this game. The threat tower and the cards and the locations and then the tokens is all you really need, and player boards, because it's a nice double layer player board where you can keep all of your guys and stuff on, and then it's sort of your guild pile. Because if you draft someone else's card when you discard at the end of the round, they get their card back, so that they'll be able to use that for the next turn.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But yeah, all like the resource money, like especially the goodwill and influence, it looks so much worse as a plastic component than it does as a cardboard.
Okay.
The cardboard tokens are way nicer looking than the plastic tokens.
Yeah.
The metal money is nice.
Yeah, metal money, that's good.
Yep.
Definitely if you got that, great.
Yeah.
But the
I would almost rather use the cardboard chits because they just look a lot better.
Yeah.
Okay.
Without me having to go through and just like ink all of these plastic pieces.
Gotcha.
There aren't enough of
Yeah.
for like a higher player game.
And when we put everything back in the box that we cared about, it was about 60% of the box.
Yeah. Like the minis take up a third of that box.
Jesus.
It comes with 3 cups that are supposed to go out on the board for like resource piles.
But they actually put them in front of some cards that the other person might
you
have a
can't
harder
actually-
time seeing them.
Then you can't see
Gotcha.
beyond them because they're probably 3 inches tall.
Yeah, which they don't need to be nearly that tall.
Okay.
So
Yeah. There's some problems, but overall the game wasn't bad.
Okay.
It was vaguely enjoyable.
I agree with you at this point, at least. I think I'd still just rather play Mystic Vale.
Yeah, I would still rather play Mystic Vale.
Because my biggest problem with this is that, like, I still felt 90% of the solitaire-ness that Mystic Vale has.
Right.
Except I can't do any shit on Jeff's turn like you can with Mystic Vale. Like, when you're seeding your garden or whatever the fuck it's called, you're playing your cards down, and, like, you get to do that when people are doing other stuff. This, you have to figure out your shit when... you have to figure stuff out on your turn, but you can't actually do anything until it's your turn.
Right.
And so there were times when I even AP because it was like, I'm trying to do this one thing. And some of these actions can get complicated, even though we didn't play with very many complicated ones.
No.
Okay.
We did the game that was just after the prologue for
Yes.
setup.
Right on.
But it was just like, I'm trying to do this thing, so I'm trying to figure out. And like Jeff is just like, well, I'm just going to sit here until you're done doing whatever it is you do.
Yeah.
So
It even comes with 12 little chits that you can put out on your cards so you know which cards you've used out in front of you.
which, I mean, those are nice, but also the cardboard ones are easier to see the number of too.
Right.
Yeah, because it's numbered 1 through 12, so you can actually do an order of operations.
If you want. But usually it was just marking that you've done this, which I did like that.
Yeah.
Because you're not just doing all the cards at once like you are in Mystic Vale. It's like I'm activating center part of this card, the top part of this other card, now back to the bottom part of this other card, and making sure that you aren't doing things twice. I did appreciate that.
Yeah,
And
because you need to be able to do these things. Like the draft is super important.
Yes.
Because you can only do those locations with those cards that have those units on them. I guess we haven't talked about. You get a free advancement every turn. It's not like you're buying advancements or anything like that. You can take one of any of the 10 locations and sleeve it in and be able to do it.
Okay.
But
so there is some freedom there.
There's some freedom there, but it's also when we were first starting, we were just like, I don't know what any of these do when I choose my advantage. All right, so what is that? So there was like our first turn definitely took the longest outside of like one other turn.
Gotcha.
Just because we're like, I don't know what the cards are, so I got to look through. And so if we played again, even knowing that, if we got different locations, we'd be like, I don't know what these things are. Let me just.
There's 36 locations.
Yeah.
Jesus.
All 36 of those locations have different cards.
Which 24 of them were Kickstarter exclusive, right?
No, I think 12 or something like
okay.
that were a significant amount were just like, here's the Kickstarter stuff.
Yeah, and
I don't think there's a non-Kickstarter version of this game, though. If you buy this
don't think
game,
so.
it's probably
Okay.
just going to be this
maybe
version.
it was just unlocked with Kickstarter is what they.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they haven't done a retail version, and
Not that I'm aware of.
Okay.
we'll get to that later of how they said that, like, if you get this at retail, if you could get this at retail, it would be way more expensive. So that's why it's only like
Gotcha.
a Kickstarter thing and
Right.
like convention only.
Yeah.
I want to get rid of most of what is in this game. Like, it is the most overproduced game, and I'm not one to complain about
Yes.
overproduction, but this, holy shit, like, this game definitely
Yeah.
went off the rails.
Yes, it did.
And like the expansions add like 12 other locations. The
So
expansions are $40.
Yeah.
I'll get to that later.
Yeah.
Get it later.
Yeah. Yeah, we didn't even play with the expansion that he got, but it's pretty ridiculous.
This game is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But it's not bad.
It's not bad.
But it is ridiculous.
I want to say it's one of the things where it's like, Adrian, I don't think you need to play it.
Yeah.
Just go play Mystic Vale if you want to card craft.
I've got Conclave.
Yeah, exactly.
There's a lot of it.
Yeah.
We need to go through Conclave like how I want to go through Edge of Darkness and split out all those Veil cards into their predetermined now like sets.
Yes.
Because that's what Conclave came with. It was like, you want to play this set that has like this kind of theme to it.
Gotcha.
I want to play that more than I want to play Edge of Darkness.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
Edge of Darkness is expensive.
Yes, it is.
And I bought it.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Zach, did you play anything else?
No.
I also played Pandemic Legacy Season 2.
Oh, going back
got-
to what we were playing.
We have won one of our 9 games. Sorry, two of our 9 games, one of which includes the prologue.
Oh, jeez.
Oh, ouch.
Yeah.
Are you guys still wanting to play it?
We have seen a light in the darkness that
Okay.
will continue us our play. But if that had not happened, we probably would have just
Give it up.
given up. Yep.
Gotcha.
Would you have like started revealing things just to see where things would
I don't
end?
know because I think Andrew is in another
Andrew's
season
in
2
another one,
campaign,
so.
but they're only in month 1.
Okay.
But there's one thing in that game that if I played again, I'd be like, we need to go here and do this because that is the light in the darkness that is this game.
Okay.
And we've lost so many games that like if you win a game, you get an extra like upgrade point. We've lost out on like 8 upgrade points worth of stuff, which is brutal. And we had like cities go Forsaken like game 1 or 2.
Ooh.
And that city was important to the light in the darkness point, which
Gotcha.
yeah, it was just a lot of bad luck. And we would fail out on the game on like the 3rd epidemic of 7 epidemics. We would lose immediately almost every single game.
Ugh.
It was brutal.
I'm sure.
We weren't having fun. Hopefully next game we'll start having some fun with this new thing.
If you don't have fun with it, are you guys still committed to finishing it, or are you
I
guys?
think we are now that this thing has come
Okay.
out that will make it less shitty to play
Yeah.
this game.
Okay.
Yeah, ours is dead. I'm assuming.
I have no idea.
I mean, we
I'm
just
glad
do
we
a,
dated everything because it was like 2017
Yeah.
when we started
Yeah,
this.
we could just do a 2-player one.
Yeah.
It'd probably be easier.
Probably be easier.
I mean, does David still have any interest?
Probably not.
Okay.
I mean, I don't. He's too busy doing D&D as
Right.
far as I can tell.
Because I assume Bob would still be interested.
But it'd be a lot harder to get him up here now.
Right. So you
Take
need
it
to
to
find
him.
like no.
No.
You need to like find 2 people up here. Just because we're only like 4 in, right? We could bring 2 new people up to speed.
I mean, we can also just play us 2 as well.
We could also maybe just
do
that.
2 characters, like
just maybe
4
do
characters.
I don't know. We need to do something because I do want to finish it.
And we need to play more Betrayal Legacy.
Yes, definitely.
The campaign games
Ooh.
have not grown,
No.
but continue to be there.
Jeff, is there a bloody minute?
There is not. Wednesday, Thursday, something like that. This week, Skaven on Sorai.
Are you playing a game night or?
No, we'll be, he's way up north, so I'll probably go to Total Escape.
Gotcha.
I think we're doing Wednesday.
And then
They just announced all the Lizardmen, like that it's finally coming. The new Spike magazine and the dice and the team. I definitely really want to get that team. I need to get the Spike magazine, which will be my first Spike magazine, and then their dice look really nice too.
Awesome.
Yeah, I don't need another set of dice,
But you want them.
but I will get another set of dice.
No one needs.
No one needs
another set of
anything. No one
dice.
needs any board games.
Blood Bowl dice is the thing I have a fuckload of dice of.
I've begun
Descent?
growing a collection of
Your
D&D
descent
dice.
into growing a collection.
Yeah, I've got I think I'm up to almost 10 sets now.
What was the name of that realm?
Avernus.
Avernus?
Yes.
So is there a realm in there of the hell of dice?
No, but there is a Descent into Avernus like dice box. It's like it's got like a bunch of like cards like for the enemies in it to show like your players. Then it has like a 12 dice set, and then the box itself is like a felt line. Like when you open it up, it's like a felt lined dice box. Like it's.
I remember you talking about it and how you said you wanted to get it, but you weren't going to buy it.
Oh.
Are you going to buy it?
When I get paid on Thursday, I'm
Okay.
definitely ordering it. So, yeah. Let's move on to some news and Kickstarter.
First up in news this week, Sidereal Confluence is getting a remastered edition for a game that only came out like 2 years ago.
But needed it.
But needed it, yeah.
I'm sorry. What's getting?
Sidereal?
Sidereal.
Sidereal.
Yeah.
Sidereal Confluence?
Yep.
Yep.
You've played this? Someone has played this.
I have played this.
Yes.
I played this on a heavy cardboard stream.
Yes.
I don't remember the game being as fuck awful as people seem to make it seem to be.
But you don't care, so.
But what?
But you don't care about looks, so.
Oh, well, I certainly don't remember it from a looks perspective, but even a rules perspective. But of course, I didn't learn the rules. I had them taught to me by somebody who does this thing professionally. Yes. The biggest one of the big complaints I've heard from people who actually watched that stream is that it was really hard to follow what was going on because it has a lot of real time negotiation phase, and that doesn't make for a great stream. When
It's
I'm
trading
trying
and
to,
diplomacy, right?
Yeah, when I'm trying to like trade and bicker with you, and Jeff's trying to trade and bicker with another player, and then the fifth player's like, "Hey, would any one of you 4 assholes like to trade with me, or are you just going to lock me out all game?"
Yes.
Crisscross.
So yeah, not necessarily the best game for streaming, but I had a lot of fun with it. I liked it. It's a resource management game where you get raw materials that you turn into like basic goods that you turn into advanced goods, and you have to like work with other people. Like, hey, I'll trade you these basic goods so you can make them into your advanced goods, but I need you to like lend me something. And you can even trade like tech cards. Like, hey, you have that tech. Can I borrow that tech for like 2 turns? Like, I'll give you this. Like, you can trade almost fucking everything. So it's getting a remastered edition. They have went through and overhauled the rule book. They've put in a new teaching guide. They've added a whole lot of like pictures that show like, here's what it looks like when you do this thing we're talking about. Because that was another problem people had, was they're like, we don't understand what these words mean in relation to what's happening in the game.
Edge of Darkness's setup was brutal.
Oh,
Its whole setup was on 2 pages, and then the following 2 pages were what it actually looked like and where the numbers were.
Yeah.
So that is very convenient to have it all on one double page. Pandemic did it right.
Yeah.
The gameplay itself is going to mostly stay all the same, but in addition to the rulebook changes, they are rearranging a lot of the layout on the cards to make the information on them much clearer about what they do and how they do it. And then it's going to have a revised cover from Quanchi Moria, so the art's going to get a little bit of an upgrade. The box art is going to get a little bit of an upgrade. And cardboard turn and bidding trackers, and a new insert to hold everything. So mostly a component and rules upgrade rather than a game upgrade.
Yeah.
Really bad itch. Sorry.
That was really loud.
It's going to be $70.
Yeah, and It's going to be out next May from WizKids. So I really want to play more Sidereal Confluence. I want to try like a big game of it sometime. Like I said, I think it would, especially with our group, I think it would make a terrible stream.
Oh, yeah.
So I don't plan on ever streaming it, but I wouldn't mind like trying to find somewhere where we could get like 6 people and really go at it.
Next up on news, remember Minecraft, that game that everyone should have by now? Well, now there's a board game, and it looks okay, but the designer's not the best.
You really dropped off there.
I was looking up the designer, and I was just like, this is going to be one of those games.
Well, what is the designer?
Right,
Who is the designer?
Before I get into this game, what?
Ulrich Blum. He did Grand Crew and a bunch of other games that you would never have heard of before.
Okay, so it's not like he's done something that we know is bad.
Yeah.
It's not like he designed Oregon fucking Trail or something.
I mean, have you played Speed Snacks or Antigua?
No. Antigua sounds familiar, but I think I might be thinking of the actual city.
Yeah.
Yeah. Games around 2010.
Gotcha. Well, anyway, this game, we'll see if it's any good. So it was teased back at Spielwarenmesse 2019. Ravensburger, the German publisher, is going to be putting it out, and they've given us some more information. So it's a 2 to 4 player game. It's going to debut in October 2019, almost certainly at Essen. If something's debuting in Germany in October,
it's
got to
be
at Essen.
Yeah.
It's going to run about €40, and it will be in the US in November via Amazon for about $40. Now, it's interesting you like dogged on this designer because the game actually sounds kind of interesting to me. So full disclosure, I loved Minecraft for a very long time. I played a shit ton of Minecraft. So I'm immediately interested in something new Minecraft. But it's going to consist of multiple different things. So everybody has their own little like Minecraft map that's a 3x3 little grid with like their own little score tracker going around it. And then everybody's going to set up their own 4x4x4 cube of resources that's made up of 16 wood blocks, 14 sand blocks, 12 stone, 10 obsidian, and 12 emerald blocks that you randomize and then build into this little cube. So
like an actual 3D
like a 3D
thing.
cube.
Yeah.
And so on your turn, you can collect 2 blocks from that cube, with the rule being that the top and 2 of the sides have to be exposed. So initially you can only take from the 4 corners, and then you kind of work from there, devouring this cube to get all the resources. That's one of your actions that you can do on your turn, and you take 2 actions on a turn. One of the other actions, you can move. So another part in the center of the board is a 4x4 grid of tiles that are 4 thick, and you move along those. So you move 0, 1, or 2 spaces between stacks, and then you reveal all adjacent tiles that are currently face down. And as you reveal them, they're like monsters or different things you can build and stuff like that. You can then, for your other action, build. So you discard blocks that you've collected previously from your cube to build things that match one of the tiles adjacent to you. And then you take that and you put it in one of your like 3x3 little personal grid.
Gotcha.
And your grid is like different biomes. And so it doesn't specify, but I'm almost certain just looking at the tiles and the boards, like certain tiles have to be built in a desert space kind of thing. You can fight mobs, the bad guys that get revealed in those little tile sections. And for that, you reveal 3 tiles from weapon stacks that are along the side of the board. And you total up the number of hearts that are revealed. And if it's at least as large as the number of hearts on the monster, you beat it. And you get it next to your little personal board. And they give you endgame scoring bonuses and things like that. You can collect weapons. So if you get to the edge of the map where one of those weapons are, you can just take it and be like, this is now mine. Then scoring takes place 3 different times during the game after the final block is removed from the first, second, and third level of the building block cube. And actually, the building block cube, I don't think is personal. It's a core. It's a communal.
Oh, gotcha.
So what you take will open up other opportunities for other people. And that makes a lot more sense and makes it more interesting. In the first round, you choose one of the 4 biomes and score for the largest connected area there. And then in the second round, you choose one of 3 materials: wood, sandstone, or obsidian. That's 4 materials, but it says you choose one of 3 materials. and score for the largest connected group of structures that are made of that material. And then in the third round, you score for the largest contiguous group of structures of a type of structure of your choice on your board. After scoring, you tally bonus points from the monsters you've collected, and then whoever has the most points is the winner. But actually, I don't know. I think some of the stuff they're doing there sounds kind of interesting. And the way they've tried to incorporate maybe a little bit of Minecraft into a board game. I would certainly be interested in trying it. I don't know if I'm going to just blindly spend $40 on it, but yeah, there you go. Whole bunch of information about the new Minecraft board game.
There
It's
you
gonna
go.
be coming out in November here in the States.
Yeah, and then there's they just announced a big Minecraft actual game update. They're going to update the Nether for the first time since the Halloween update
What?
in 2010.
Jesus. I have not followed up at all with what's going on in
Notch is bad, and we don't like him.
Wait, we don't like Notch now?
No, Notch is a bad person.
Well, is it because he sold to Microsoft?
No.
He's just a terrible person.
Just personal stuff.
yeah.
Huh.
Notch is bad, and then everything else that has to do with Minecraft is good.
Okay. I haven't kept up with any of the development side of Minecraft for like 5 years.
Yeah.
I used to have a separate computer that I had running a server like 24/7. I had like 4 people that we'd all log on and just play at different times and stuff. It was that was pretty cool, but no idea what's going on now.
Yeah.
But anyway, Minecraft board game. That's that. Next up on news.
Next up on news, archaeologists and anthropologists are using AI to research ancient board games.
Yeah. So I'm not going to go through like this entire article. It's just really a cool tidbit that we wanted to mention.
And is a very cool article.
And it is a very cool article on Atlas Obscura. And there will be a link on our show notes, milehighgameguys.com, if you want to check it out. But it basically just goes over how like people have been playing board games in some fashion for a very long time.
Millennia.
Which we've mentioned some of those.
A lot of the cool old
as articles come up about.
Yeah,
them.
they find like a cool old board game in a tomb and they have no idea how it's played or
Yeah.
whatever. Well, now they're starting to use AI to try and maybe decipher how these games might have been played and what the rules may have been.
Because the only reason we know even rules for some of these games is because they were literally set in stone,
Yes.
which is where that comes from.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't remember what game it was. It was somewhere in this article they talked about one that was Ur was actually
The royal
incised
game
on
of Ur. Yeah.
a cuneiform tablet. King Tut had 4 different things of he had Senate, which was a
Senate.
different Egyptian board game.
Yes.
Apparently Egyptians really liked board games.
And one of the oldest board games known to man that we can know how to play. Like 1800 years old.
Right.
More than 1800 BC.
Well, there's an 1800 year thing in here, but it's not BC.
Oh, okay.
It's just that Senate, he had the 4 copies of, but it came about
Senate-
1800 years before Tut
was
born.
even born, which
Then 700 years later was the first time that the rules were written down for Ur. But yeah, one of my favorite things in this whole article is this line right here, where the names of many ancient games have slipped through the cracks of history, so researchers identify them by what remains. There's 33 circles from Egypt, 10 ring from Bronze Age Crete, and the Middle Eastern 58 holes. But yeah, so it's a cool article. It goes into a little bit about how they're trying to decipher how to play some of these games that they find the boards and pieces for that are ancient.
with some research, King Tut was born in 1341 BC, giving Senate
Approximately 2000 BC?
about 3158 BC is its
I was missing one of the 1000s.
Yes. Yeah. 5,000 over 5,000 years ago.
Some people think the earth is only that old.
Yeah. That was when Jesus and dinosaurs were around. They played Senate together. Get it together.
Yeah.
The facts are there.
But yeah.
Yeah, it's a really cool article.
Yep. So it'll be on the website if you want to take a look at it.
Next up in news, Kitchen Rush, in our theme of things happening again, is getting a revised edition, hopefully with better looking sand timers.
More consistent sand timers.
They make no mention of that anywhere in the article. So
Probably because like we can't promise that.
do you know how in bulk we have to buy these sand timers? Sand timers is sand timers. God.
Kitchen Rush.
Kitchen Rush.
I mean, it might as well be sand timers. The game.
Is getting a updated, revised edition that was announced by Pegasus Spiel, and they're going for a less cartoonish look than the previous Artipia Games version.
They called it poor visuals and iffy production.
Yeah.
Yeah. I can see that.
Which extended to the crucial sand timers.
Okay, so maybe they are going to update the sand timers. So they've the rules have been revised to introduce new mechanics, including the need to placate waiting customers by serving them free drinks, which cost you money. Penalty for failing service has been adjusted. Demanding guests add extra challenge. Unsatisfied VIPs cost additional reputation points. They've also made the rules around storing ingredients even trickier, with pasta and bread no longer being allowed to be kept with the other ingredients.
There's only, in the base game, there's only 2 different like storage spots though.
I think there were 3.
Depending on how many people.
Okay.
Because it even says here, like, it's part of an effort to make the third storage room viable.
Yeah.
As the game's original 4-player limit meant the third room was rarely used. So they must be adding that into lower player counts.
I vaguely remember on our play just dumping it in those 2. It's like, why did we even use this other one?
Yeah, we used it to get the stuff that was already in there.
And then not use it.
Both of those new rules are said to be optional, with the original rules still in the revised edition. A more significant addition is a campaign, which aims to introduce the rules and variants over the course of an 8-scenario tutorial. So,
which I wouldn't hate, because there is a lot to.
Oh yeah,
yeah. So that'd be like a Magic Maze or some of those other style ones.
And then
looks like it's gonna be a modular board.
Modular board, yep, which takes a little bit from the Piece of Cake expansion. So you had extra rooms in parts of the restaurant. It no longer will be single player, though. There will no longer be a single player version of the game.
It's fine with me.
Yeah.
It's going to be at Essen and then coming to the US later.
Yep. I don't remember seeing a price for it.
No, neither did I.
So who knows? I like the art style on this one a little bit better. I didn't hate the Artipia version, but
agreed.
This one looks nicer.
I was like, where are the circles? Because that's all I care about.
Right. Cool. So yeah, stay tuned for more Kitchen Rush in the future.
And that's it for news.
That is indeed it for news. We can move over to Kickstarter.
First up in Kickstarter this week is Madeira.
Madeira? I don't actually know.
Madeira.
Collector's... Not Madeira.
Madeira.
That is not it.
No. Madeira.
Madeira or Madeira?
Madeira. The Collector's Edition and the expansion. Very well funded, 157,000 of its $22,000 goal, 2,155 backers, but just about a week left to go. And you can get this one at its most popular collector's pledge level for $98.
Indeed you can. So Madeira is an older game from What's Your Game that's been out of print for a long time. I finally got my hands on a copy thanks to Boyd, who just sent me it because, he's not always mean to me. And this has been in the works for a little while, and it's finally out. So
on Kickstarter.
On Kickstarter, yeah. Yes, the Kickstarter was supposed to launch like 6 months ago, and it's just been pushed back, and they've been tweaking things and working on it. But it's got a whole bunch of stuff, and I hate the way they laid out this Kickstarter. So initially, the first thing you see is all of the stretch goals that they've unlocked, which is a lot of cool stuff: sleeves, gold foil, upgraded tokens and goods, screen printing on like all the stuff, all of that. But the $90-some pledge that Jeff was talking about is the collector's edition. It's going to be the base game plus all of the expansions, plus 138 premium wooden resources, 50 metal coins, a game tray storage solution, and then all of those stretch goals. You can also for around 50-ish bucks. Get an upgrade pack that upgrades your existing Madeira to that deluxe collector's edition. There is also just the expansion set for about $30. That's the
30 euros.
29 euro, which I assume is a little over $30.
I would say 35 to 40.
Sure. And that includes the new expansions, New Beginnings, King's Demands, and Capitanias, along with some new roles and second edition extras. And then the base game is available for €50, so 55 to $60. I don't know.
You getting that upgrade pack?
I am leaning towards the upgrade pack.
$54.
Okay.
Yep. For the upgrade pack as well.
They have a handy little chart that shows you what all you get in the different sets with a bunch of these little check boxes. So like if you get the base game, you get the base game, but you don't get the expansions. If you get the expansions, you don't get the base game, but you get the expansions. And they laid that out very clearly with check marks.
Yeah.
In case you were curious. The only way to get the base game and the expansions is the collector's edition, which is probably why it's the most popular pledge.
Probably.
The expansion set also does not include the updated rule book, according to the check sheet, but I thought it did mention that up above. I don't know. And then all of that other fancy stuff, game trays, metal coins, wooden bits, and the stretch goals are only for the upgrade and the collector's edition.
Gotcha.
So if you get just the expansion or just the base game, you don't get those things.
Are you going to get an expansion for it too?
Well, I'm probably going to get the upgrade kit, which includes all the expansions.
I missed that.
The upgrade kit takes the base game up to the collector's edition.
Okay.
So that is what I am leaning towards. And I really appreciate that they include fucking everything. Like, it includes the new collector's edition box. It includes the game trays. They put in all of the stuff to really take your base game first edition to collector's edition second edition. Collector's version of second edition. Whole bunch of different stuff. The only thing that I might hold out on is I need to compare the boards. Like, I don't know if they've updated any of the graphics. It doesn't look like it from my remembrance, but I want to verify that. Because if they did upgrade the boards, I might just go for the whole thing. But yeah, game board, guild boards, a whole bunch of stuff.
What kind of game is this?
So it is a dice drafting, set collecting, resource management game. It's got a lot of different little things going on in it. I was trying to get down here to where they talk about it because it's been like a year since I played it. And then I wanted to talk about the expansions too, but there we go. Yeah, so the main mechanic is dice drafting. So each turn you're going to be drafting guild dice, and then you're going to use those to take actions at the various spots all around the board. You then roll the dice you use, which lets you pay for the different, based on what you roll, is like what you have to pay for the buildings and things. Then you have to feed your people and maintain your ships. And then at the end of the turn, there's a phase where you're trying to earn influence with the king and stay in their good graces. And you basically do that over and over and over again. There's a whole bunch of like little side stuff that affects things on how you get points and whatnot. And it's a decently heavy game. It was one of the first like heavy games that I remember Heavy Cardboard talking about way back when I first started listening to them before we were ever doing our show.
Right.
And I was like, I really want to play that. That sounds really, really good.
Well, they have a 4.5 hour play available on YouTube.
And that's one of their old plays. I'm surprised they didn't. Well, is that the new expansion one? Because they have 2 videos from them on the YouTube or on the Kickstarter.
It is from, let's say, 2 days ago.
Okay, then that is with all of the new expansions and everything. And there is an older one from when they were still here in Denver.
Aha.
I'm pretty sure.
Gotcha.
But yeah, whole bunch of different stuff. The expansions, I think, all sound kind of vaguely interesting. They're mostly just more or variability. So like the new beginnings are just new setup tiles that let everybody start a little bit different, and as a mechanism for drafting those. So once you've gotten pretty good at the game, you can just draft for the starting tiles. The Capitanias has new cards that are related to specific regions, that if you want to use the card, you have to have influence in that region. The King's Demands are just new Crown Request card tiles, which that's the main scoring in the game. That's where you're going to get most of your points. And so it just gives you 30 new ones of those to play with. And then there's a bunch of new roles. So everybody has a different role that you start the game with. And so these are new roles that have a little bit, they say, special bonuses that make them a little bit more in depth. Yeah, a lot of stuff. I really like
People
Madeira.
have been wanting this game for a while.
Oh, yeah.
It's been out of print for years.
Yeah. I really like Madeira, and so I'm definitely looking forward to getting some upgraded stuff for it.
I'm sure.
Since you have the game already.
Yeah.
Indeed.
Free.
For free.
Free board games. It's free board games.
All right. That's Madeira. Go check it out. You got a little bit left to go on that one.
Let's say
About a week.
Next up on Kickstarter is Sovereign Skies. This one is pretty well funded. 24,000 of its $12,000 goal, 603 backers, 3 weeks left to go. You can pledge this one for $29 from your best friends over at Deepwater Games.
You do one convention working for people, and all of a sudden they're your best friends.
Yeah.
I'm sure someone remembers you.
I mean, maybe. They did ask me to be at Origins this year, and I just couldn't do it. But anyhow, so Sovereign Skies is, like Jeff said, their latest game. It is a 45-minute sci-fi worker movement strategy game. It plays 1 to 4 players, takes about 45 minutes. And you're basically different factions from Earth that now are hanging out in the Bizai cluster. And you're trying to recruit alien senators for favors and establish occupation by constructing and activating bases for energy and influence. Each turn, you move your mothership around and perform 1 to 3 actions on a given planet to help you earn energy and influence. You can add ships and politic cards and or perform planets' special actions.
Like relocate and refuel.
Yeah. Not a whole lot of information about the actual game.
But
their stuff.
Their gameplay section is nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Components all look really good.
Some upgraded components for stretch goals in there.
Yep. Right now, we'll see, if they hit all their stretch goals, they've got, a while to go.
Right.
But, the upgrading to unique motherships instead of just the generic different colored ones, upgrading from ship cubes into actual little ship meeples, things like that. The bases going from bases, or I guess the bases are staying the same. The first player token goes to the carved wooden token. Some of that may be needless upgrading, but some of that would be nice. A whole lot of tokens and cards and things like that. Player boards, all that kind of stuff. I don't know. I don't know enough about how this is played to really be super, super interested in it, but it's fairly inexpensive, and I've liked a lot of the other games Deepwater's done.
You're going through these various special actions to get influence. Whoever has influence at the end of the game wins.
Yeah.
And it's only $29.
Because, like I said,
instead of 100 plus.
Yeah, it's actually reasonably priced. So, and they got, their little gameplay thing that shows movement and stuff and all these nice little GIFs for you about how you're doing your different actions. All through here, I don't know. It's a well put together Kickstarter. And like I said, I have liked a lot of the other things that Deepwater's done. I liked Roundhouse, love Welcome to. I'm trying to blank on some of their other games that I played, but I know that I demoed a bunch of them from them, and I liked them all.
Well, and they're Hanamikoji, but it's not from,
right. They're just the U.S. They bring it to the U.S. for them. Yeah.
But still a good game. Still a great game.
Indeed. Indeed. So,
and its rulebook passes the smell test at a nice 12 pages.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Indeed. Yeah, Sovereign Skies. Go check it out.
Last up on Kickstarter this week, we have Edge of Darkness, Cliffs of Coldharbor from AEG. Extremely well-funded, $192,000 of its $50,000 goal, 2,900 backers, and just a couple, 2 or 3 days left to pledge this one, with its most popular pledge being for the expansion, which is $40.
So you say it's extremely well-funded at $192,000, but I also was like, when you first told me that number, I was like, that feels low compared to how much, because I feel like Edge of Darkness got over $1 million.
I do not know for sure, but it was a lot.
It is not currently their one and only stretch goal is $400,000 for asymmetric guild starter cards.
Okay.
This will add 12 location boards with 90 advancements, which is basically that vaguely 8 or 9 advancements per location board.
And it was $636,000 for the main one, so that puts it into better context. But still, I would still expect $300,000, half of it.
Yeah. You can get the base game with this with expedited shipping, which you can get the base game in November. because they probably have a ton of this game still from before. And they still have a bunch of extra, like they still have like 550 of that pledge left.
Yeah.
And then you can get the metal coins and the other expansion, the like Dunes of Sand themed expansion.
Sands of Dune Star.
Yep. That was close.
It's close. I mean,
you said all the right words, in all the wrong orders.
Yeah.
It means exactly as much to me as the actual name does.
Yeah. So this is basically like get the Edge of Darkness if you didn't have it, but also this $40 expansion. It seems so expensive for what you get. You just get those cards and that's it. Cards and the location boards, maybe some tokens for $40. Those like card crafting cards must be very expensive. Except Mystic Vale expansions aren't that expensive.
But do you get as much stuff? I mean,
we also have each of the location boards.
Yeah.
But
yeah, because they're showing like this graphic that they have that it's the Guildmaster add-ons and the Sands of Dune Star, and it's a lot of stuff.
You do get a lot of stuff. But
considering you were just talking about this
you
game
get all that
already being overproduced,
you get all that plastic
and then
stuff you don't need.
That I don't
overproduced shit.
Yeah, I don't even want most of that plastic stuff. They've come out and said like, "Hey, that draw bag, we're just going to replace it because it was crap with a cloth one that you can get later on top of like the amount of tokens that you actually need to play the game."
Yeah.
So the Guildmaster was already from the first Kickstarter anyway?
Yes, that is just the first Kickstarter stuff.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep. And then it's $40 for the Sands of Dune Star expansion. It's $40 for the Coldharbor expansion. It's like $19 for the metal coins, which were nice.
$120. Just get it all.
120. No.
Oh no, Jesus Christ! And then add on.
It's
Cliffs
$120
and
plus $80.
Yeah.
Plus $19. $219. You can get all of this Edge of Darkness stuff.
Which that's why there's 944 left of 1,000 of that pledge level.
Yeah, exactly.
It's a lot. But I haven't seen them sell this in any other way except the Kickstarter and from themselves at cons.
Yeah.
And they said they had like limited retail partners.
Yeah. Well, and I haven't heard. I feel like the only people really getting this one are ones that are already invested in the system.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I haven't heard too many people been like, "Man, Edge of Darkness, amazing!" Like,
but here's $200,000 later of people just for this, and the extreme majority wanting just the $40 expansion.
Zach, did you have the original one pulled up there on Kickstarter?
Yes.
How many backers did it have?
5,284.
So they're at roughly 50% of the backers with like 4 days left. So, maybe a lot of people who got the first edition are like, I don't think it's actually worth it to go in on this one.
It's very expensive, and a lot of it is not useful for the actual game.
Yeah.
As someone that has recently played it and paid for all of this.
Yeah.
It's very overproduced. And
yes,
getting 12 more locations for $40 is not a good deal. You get 12 location boards with those 90 card crafting cards.
Yeah.
Which are basically 12 copies with 12 new cards with copies of them.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if the two of you are saying something's overproduced.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, no. When we were playing, we were both like, what the fuck? Yeah. That's why I was like, it's really good that you weren't in our first play.
Yeah. Nick, just stay as far away as possible.
Oh, I even forgot to mention that it seems like you'd want to, I wouldn't want to play 4 players with this game.
Okay.
Because there's so much downtime between turns because you need to wait for the other person to go.
Yeah. Okay.
Like with drafting,
fair enough.
You definitely have to wait. But then when you get to the action phase, if someone wants to hunt, they could kill a monster that you would want to get on your turn. So you have to wait for their turn to end.
Oh.
It only really drags at the end when there's a whole bunch of different stuff to do. But
fair
that
enough.
end game gets real long. Unless there's some scenarios that are lighter mechanically. But it just seems like that game's going to get deeper and deeper the more you go into it. So
right.
this is a game, if you want a game, like that.
If you end up liking, if you like the game, then then you want more. Here it is.
Yeah, but
I wouldn't say you should probably get invested in the game now.
Wait for someone to sell that game.
Exactly.
Because there is probably going to be a bunch of those. I would not be surprised. But, I mean, they're still sitting here with $192,000 on a Kickstarter. So there's definitely a market.
And I was talking shit about the 994 out of 1,000 left. That's for the EU expedited.
Yeah, there's about half.
The US-Canada expedited is 554 left of 1,000.
Gotcha.
So they have sold half of their 1,000. So they've sold 500 of them at $120 a pop.
Yeah.
Plus all the add-ons.
Yeah, there's 50,000 right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a game.
Yeah.
That could be okay, but how many of these people have played the game? I just played the first time and the second Kickstarter started.
Yeah.
But I mean, there's people out there that are just like, I have this game. I'm going to play this game all the time.
Right. Not everybody
over and over
has
and over.
hundreds and hundreds of them. Yeah.
Yes.
Exactly.
And this is definitely a good game if you have a small collection and want a deep fucking game, because there's a lot, but it's expensive.
Cool. So that's Edge of Darkness, Cliffs of Coldharbor.
The Coldharbor cards are just more cards. I looked at the cards. There's
Okay.
nothing. Yeah. There's more mechanics. That's all there is.
Cool. That wraps up news and Kickstarter. Which lets us move on over to Jeff's favorite portion of the entire show, listener feedback. Starting with
Emails at milehighgameguys.com. This email is from Paul. Different Paul, not our Paul. Titled Another Email for You Guys. I never got a chance to watch the Tapestry video on demands. I assume that's what VOD means.
I would assume.
But hey, I have a life, It's too much most podcast for me, to be honest. Well, this one's going to be most.
Yep.
Speaking of games I'll never play, I just got City of the Big Shoulders. I don't think I'll ever be able to convince anyone to ever play it, and I played it 2-player, one-handed, and I think it's probably one of the best games I've played this year. But unfortunately, the 18xx aspect of the game falls apart, and through the messy seams, a smooth and pure Euro game shines through.
There you go. Yeah. It crumbles.
Messy seams with its pure Euro game shiningness.
The 18xx shell crumbles, and then the Euro game springs forth.
Yes. By 18xx, I mainly mean 1, trains, 2, routes, 3, dumping shares into the bank pool to do various things, mainly giving someone a garbage company. I miss the train rush, and I miss the long-term, off-board, location-esque route goals. However, it's a fantastic Euro game, probably one of the best I've wanted to play in a while. I might write more on this later, but the main thing is I haven't played a Euro game where I wanted to try to Euro as hard as I could with every different character since Spirit Island.
Speaking my language right now.
Yes, it's a weird analogy, but I think getting invested and attached to a specific company and learning their strategy and gameplay is a very fun and very exciting to think about and then plan for. Something I've really only felt from Spirit Island and other 18xx games. Looking to where companies start and figuring out the routes and the possible strategies from the privates.
Private companies.
Okay.
There's public companies and private companies and big companies and little companies.
It's where all their privates are held.
Yeah.
Okay. I hope this email sent in time, which it did.
It did.
By an hour.
Yeah.
I've not the rumblings of City of Big Shoulders does not seem like very good.
I've heard a bunch of different things from people who know what they're getting into. They seem to like it. The people who seem to not like it are people who are expecting a like midweight Euro, and then we're like, holy shit, there's like more here than that, and I don't understand. Or people who are like, I heard this is like an 18xx Euro, and then they're like, this isn't an 18xx. Yeah, it's got some trains and some routes and some shares, but it's not an 18xx. It's all about managing expectations. People who had a good idea what they were getting into seem to like it.
It's sitting at a 8.2 with 483 rankings on BGG.
I really, really, really want to play it. I think Paul has it.
And I think there was a bunch of people that went on like a big pledge bundle or something.
Or something.
That's it for emails at milehighgameguys.com.
Indeed it is. Zach, anything over on BGG?
No.
All right, and nothing new over on YouTube, despite all of the new YouTube videos. No comments.
But many views.
Jeez, Paulo. Letting us down. He's not maintaining his corner very well. It's all dusty and full of cobwebs.
And Tapestry.
And Tapestry.
It's because many people are there watching Tapestry.
So Paulo's like the spider and he's skittish because of all of the attention.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay. But yeah, so that wraps up the episode. Listener feedback, all of that. If you would like to get a hold of us, there are a whole bunch of different ways to do so. You can send us emails.
Emails at milehighgameguys.com.
You can follow us over on Twitter, where I tweet under at MHGameGuys.
I am Zach_MHGG.
I am Jeff_MHGG.
We have Facebook and Instagram, both /MileHighGameGuys. That Instagram has recent posts even.
Two of them.
Two of them. You can also jump over to our website, milehighgameguys.com, for links to our Slack channel, where there's a whole bunch of us who talk about a whole bunch of different topics in a wide variety of channels, plan conventions, talk about sports, follow, Factorio ridiculous builds. Ant shared a picture that I was like, I don't even know what I'm looking at anymore.
It was a map of 400 hours of a guy that we're playing with the 3 biggest mod packs, Bob's, Angels, and another one, which turn everything that is Factorio and then breaks everything down to even more parts. Like, you need tin and this to make that, and it's absolutely batshit insane.
Oh God, no, thank you.
No pass.
Yeah.
But yeah, and then you can also over there on the website there is a link to our Board Game Geek guild number 2731, where there's a calendar for the streams that are coming up over twitch.com or twitch.tv/MHGameGuys.
Yes.
And then also on the website there is link to our Patreon, patreon.com/MileHighGameGuys. I think that's pretty much all of our main contact routes.
You can subscribe to us on Twitch.
You can follow
right
and or subscribe on Twitch. We had our number 15. So I'll find out what that 14 out of 15 was, because we're not 15 out of 15 subscribers, thanks to our good friend Kyle, who jumped on and subscribed to this Twitch Prime. Because if you have Twitch, you get 1 free subscription per month that you have to renew every month.
Unfortunately, yeah.
But that means if you're already paying for Prime, you're just throwing a handful of quarters at us.
Yeah.
It's okay. It's no big deal. 10 quarters, to be exact. We get $2.50 out of a Twitch Prime.
Yes.
Yes, we do.
You throw 10 quarters at us, and then you throw 10 at Twitch.
Yep.
And then we're also at 74. At the start of the stream, we were at 74 subscribers over on YouTube. We need 100 to unlock a custom YouTube URL.
So we can be YouTube/MHGameGuys.
So if I don't care if you don't care about our YouTube stuff. If you have a YouTube, jump over there and just hit subscribe. You'll get
on that subscribe button.
You'll get some notifications occasionally.
Get some junk
alerts
from BGG alone. So
very true.
But yeah,
people are gonna be getting a lot of those tonight, probably.
But that wraps everything up. As always, we would like to thank our awesome sponsors, Gray Fox Games, for continuing sponsorship of the Mile High Game Guys in all of our shenanigans. Much kudos to them on their successful Kickstarter that is now complete and wrapped up, I believe.
I believe so.
I hadn't checked in a little while.
It is funded, finished. I believe finished in the last
finished
a day or so.
Yeah, just wrapped up. Very successful.
I think they added some game trays for the castle pieces right at the end there.
Nice.
To organize those. And you don't need a game trays per player. It's just sort of like a storage thing.
Right.
Gotcha.
But so really excited for them and look forward to seeing what's going to come next from them. Jeff, do you have a prepared statement for us?
Yes. Gray Fox Games. Quality games cleverly crafted. Also, we put in money, recruits, just to combat Cypher. Rubbing our noses in bloody battlefield dirt, all for revenge.
Is that why we do things for revenge?
Why wouldn't we do those things for revenge?
Who are we revenging against?
Revengeancing,
yeah,
actually.
We're the Revengers.
That's such a stupid name for
know.
like a superhero team.
Yeah.
Like the only reason it exists is because it's been around forever.
That wraps everything up. We're all done here. So we're going to close this podcast.
The
Side of things
Ultimate
down.
Universe called him the Ultimates, which was a better name, but
Thank you for that, Jeff.
Yeah.
But yeah, we're done here. As always, I have been your host, Adrian.
I am still Zach.
and I'm clawing Jeff.
Bye.
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 Where we all
Bring something
to the table.
pull up a chair.
At punchboardmedia.com.